Shuffleboard by Bill Cox, August 2011. You must be the new guy. Hi, I'm Silkworm, your Enlightenment Councilor. He looked at me expectantly. After a moment, he continued. And you are? Reacting to my helpless look, he nodded knowingly. Ah, one of those. He gestured, and I fell into his wake. Don't try to hurry it. Your memories should return before long. Let's worry about that later, shall we? In the meantime, he added officiously, as your counselor, I am responsible to formally welcome you to the afterlife. He coughed, cleared his throat noisily, spoke again, this time with authority. Hello? We're glad you made it. Welcome to your future. You're kidding? I asked hopefully. He shook his head. Nope, you've hit the jackpot. You made it to heaven. But My mind roved back, looking for memories of my past, encountered a vast void, recoiled, returned to the present. Me? I concluded weakly. I realized what that might sound like to someone who could throw me out if I pissed them off. I mean, I do, but my memories are... He was nodding sympathetically. No doubt. Well, hate to be the one to break it to you, he confided while we walked along a long colonnade, the capitals free, ivy-wrapped, the cylinders fluted. But memory loss typically means one of three things. Your memory loss, I mean. And those are? I was getting a headache already, and I'd only come to my senses 2 minutes ago. Was I hallucinating? Had I done acid? I had the feeling it would take a lot of it to do this, or mescaline, and been somehow physically traumatized by the experience? Could I be suffering lesions due to... Of course, his manner was still solicitous, which was nice of him. Maybe I was actually... He ticked them off on his fingers. 1. Dementia follows you here, but it reverses over time. Benefit is you'll get your memories back, most of them anyway. I tried to smile but couldn't. 2. Some other severe mental trauma, usually from a chronic condition, long-term coma, most like. Benefit? Your memories will come back. His smile disappeared. If you had any. Strangely enough, I understood him perfectly well. What about mental impairment? Were you reborn into the afterlife with your old limitations, or did you somehow... And the third? The worst sort of sociopath. He waxed apologetic, though I imagined the system in place here wasn't his fault. That type is reborn without their memories as protection to the rest of us. They get to start all over again. That's kind of merciful? I asked hesitantly. My mind scanned the void where a man's memories should be and saw nothing. Not even a mental picture of my parents, which I imagined most children should retain. Are there places to go here? Things to do? I didn't know what I meant, but I could feel the compulsion for entertainment. My mind, it seemed, needed something to occupy it in order to push the huge change in state I reeled from out to a comfortable distance, so I could adjust to it at my own best pace. Oh, there are all sorts of things to do here. I hope you'll love the place. He smiled again, but it was insincere. After all, you're going to be here for quite a while. Chapter 1. Shuffleboard? I stood there, leaning forward, casting a shadow on my feet. That's what heaven's got for fun. I felt stunned. Well, we have more than shuffleboard, of course. Of course, I temporized, making a keep-it-rolling motion with my left hand. Yahtzee? Some folks don't like it here, you know, he admitted. We recycle them, which takes care of the whole problem at both ends. Meaning? You know, reincarnation, the law of conservation of souls, and all that. I felt like I had been hit with a brick on the base of my skull. If you don't like shuffleboard, I tried to put it together. They send you back to Earth? Not really. He seemed a bit offended by my attitude, which I thought a little strange considering the circumstances. Those who, and there are a lot of them, mind you, want another chance to live a life and not muck it up this time. Fresh start? He didn't seem happy about it. I smiled for the first time. And the benefit? Oh, It took him a moment, but he caught on. More living space for the rest of us, I suppose. Was this some kind of reverse psychological bullshit? Was he trying to soak me into reincarnation for some reason? So, to summarize, sun, sleep, and onto shuffleboard. That about covers it? Hmm, there are libraries greater than the one at Alexandria, he added. Gardens and grottos of statuary by the greatest talents of all time. He scratched his chin. Fishing, hunting, attending lectures by Gibran, Confucius, Aristotle, and Burton. It's a lot more than shuffleboard. Then why center my orientation around it? I asked. So many dearly departeds end up sitting down until they can't get up, eat and sleep like the apes beyond fabled Ethiop. Eventually, after 1,000 years of it, they turn into rocks. I was standing on a long, flat rock. Armed with this new knowledge, I stared at it, startled. I forced myself to relax and return to my previous thoughts. Kind of, uh, merciful, I temporized, still fascinated by the idea that you have an unusual mind, was his response. I could tell he didn't agree with me in the least. Anyway, it is our policy to exert a mild exhortation toward instilling the habits of a healthy mind and body. Wait, I bade him, struggling with a thought that wouldn't fit into place. You let sociopaths into heaven? We don't let them anything. Every soul that can rise this high appears on our doorstep. Moral implications shot through my brain at 1,000,000 miles an hour, staggered over each other, and rolled to a slow halt in an inextricable tangle. Not good and evil. His face clouded. It most certainly is. Otherwise, serial murderers and other race enemies would wake up with their memories, and manifestos, intact. Oh. I screwed up my forehead, so intense was my thinking, but only succeeded in worsening my growing headache. So what did that mean about me? Was that what my past had been? Had I been a horrible criminal? If so, I felt no resonance of guilt or lust in my heart. Though honesty compelled me to consider that, had I been a terrible man during my life, mightn't I feel equally inert when confronted with the evidence of my past? So, I... Nobody said you were anything, he assured me gently. So there's shuffleboard or turning into a rock or recycling your soul and that's it? I asked, just to make sure I had the sense of the thing. There are options for those unsatisfied with the usual solutions, he suggested at last. I stopped walking, forcing him to half-turn to face me. Options? Quite so. If you were a less-than-sterling sort back in your life, not suggesting, mind you, you might build a new life around a new set of goals and interests. He smiled. A heaven-sent goal. A rehabilitated war criminal is a hard worker? I asked, my face feeling cockeyed and off balance. Many sociopaths and psychopaths are creatures of extraordinary energy and focus, despite their aberrant outlooks. He was certain of it. Who knew, but he might be right. If we can harness that energy for the common good, everybody wins. And the missions, the jobs, what is it, God, the administration, I let the sentence draw out in hopes of eliciting from him a bit of cosmic revelation, but failed. We have some problems on the fringes of forever, he revealed. Ones that require risk-takers and improvisers, and most of all, survivors. So, men of action, movers and shakers, weren't interested in angelic missions. What they wanted most, once they'd died and gone to heaven, was to go back and try again. They wanted to give up their old lives, like discarded crystals, for the chance to start anew. All that mattered to those was the next challenge, never the last one. While those that did not crave were not impelled to, action were more likely to fade away, turn to pleasant, immune, inert, stones for all eternity. I bent low, patted the stone on which I stood. Good boy. Nobody keeps their memories then? I queried. You go back and lose them, or turn into rocks and lose them, or... I get it now. Silkworm's smile was hesitant. I'm relieved. That leaves the sociopaths? We are your go-to men? Expendables? He scratched at his chin again. You actually do get it. Amazing. So I had been a sociopath, eh? Well, now I had a chance to... Was atone the right word? It seemed too easy on the face of it. The old Greco-Roman idea that salvation must be earned was strong in me. Either way, I decided, hopefully, I'd be serving the ends of a bona fide higher cause. That could only help my chances, wouldn't it? So what kind of missions you got for your incompatibles? Feeding dragons head first? I asked. half joking. You have anything against swords or bows? He countered. Swords or... All of a sudden, I had the impression that swords and bows were perfectly good weapons, that I might... Still, no firearms? It was worth a try. If that's more your kind of thing. A slow, sly smile spread across his wide, friendly features. Or you can stay here and play shuffleboard. He looked away, nonchalant. Care to take a tour of our operation? All right. After all, what else was there? Chapter 2. Heaven was a nice place, of course. At least that part of it I could see. It was all gentle hills and sumptuous valleys, sunny colonnades, marble benches circling ornate bird baths, tasteful ponds full of happy fish, and of course, innumerable tennis, volleyball, badminton, and, you guessed it, shuffleboard courts. It was most notable, I thought, for the lack of people, though of large flat rocks there were enough to pave the Mediterranean. Medit. An image flashed into my mind. There, my subconscious whispered. That's the Mediterranean Sea. Over here, Silkworm offered as we walked up into the belt of shade under the patterned groined roof of a broad viaduct. There I saw a broad oaken door set into the base of a small hill. Through here. He pulled the heavy iron bolt out of its run and switched his effort to the equally dense brass-bound door. It creaked open reluctantly, but open it did. I looked through, saw little detail, half-stepped forward and stuck my head through the opening. Whoa! The sudden change in scale and perspective threw me for a loop. This door led to a clear, walled corridor at the bottom of a body of water. The light was low, but I could see motion in the darkness beyond the glass, or whatever it was. Where does it go? There's a tramway in the next junction, Silkworm informed me. We walked along the tube, me wishing I had a torch or a something light. I knew what I meant, of course. A tube with a lens at one end. When you pushed the switch, it threw a beam of maglight? I tried hopefully, but the word was awkward in that context. Excuse me? I shook my head. Nothing. A partial memory. It didn't go anywhere. We found an intersection, 3 footpath tubes connecting with a larger rail-equipped tube, complete with a little string of self-propelled trams. Silkworm crawled into the front seat on the first car and gestured for me to sit next to him. You'll enjoy this. We took off at a fair clip, if I was any judge of such things. After a couple minutes of passage loud enough to stifle any idle conversations, we hit an incline and rose up at a 45-degree angle for quite some distance. The impenetrable turbidity of the ocean near the seafloor sluggishly gave way to lighter, luminescent blues and aqua, and, at last, a sort of airy green that reminded me of snorkeling at a beach somewhere. The car crested the long rise, left the gentle swell, braked into another junction, and slowed to a complete halt. We're here. All right, come around this way. Door's over here. We entered a wide, sunny stretch of level ground. It was dotted with small buildings, stalls, and a sizable corral full of varicolour horses. At its far end was a vertical cliff face. In the center of this wall of stone sat a heavy-duty vault door. Where does that go? I asked Silkworm. Your mission area, was the ready answer. From now till you either retire or reincarnate, you are an angel in training. We'll equip you, of course, but you'll head out by yourself to accomplish a task set by heavenly authority. Which is? I asked. He smiled, indicated a corral and stables complex off to the right. Riding the Angel's Trail. WBC, April 25, 2026, Sharpsburg.